Okay, let's look at, sorry, my alarm went off. Let's look at what happens when I graph that at line x equals -2. So all of my x's are -2, so I go -2 on my x-axis, and over here, I always just do a generic like -2 to 2 on the other side when this happens, but like I said, that's something you'll see more in Algebra 2. All right, so -2 for my x-axis, and then I'm going to go -1 for my y, -2, 0, -2, 1. So you see already what's happening is I have a straight up and down vertical line of x equals -2. Now for y equals 3 was number 2 on the warm-up. We'll do a different color. I'm going to use my xy table, and now all of my y's are going to be 3, and I'll just use my made up -1 to 1 on the x's. So now I'll go over here to my xy, and my x's are at -1, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, and I see what's happening. I have a straight horizontal line of y equals 3. So if you can't automatically remember what those lines mean, you can just easily plot 3 points real quick and figure it out, that which one's going to be vertical, which one's horizontal, and you'll remember it eventually. So my y values are always going to be 3. My x values are always going to be -2. This is the line x equals -2. This is the line y equals 3. 3 and 4 in the warm-up slide, you just had to do a little bit of algebra to solve for your x variable. Okay, talking about parts of a circle, we would have taken notes on this in class. So I've got my class notes here just to talk about real quick. Interior of a circle is all the points inside of a circle. Exterior of a circle is all the points that fall outside or exterior to your circle. So interior, exterior, inside and outside of the circle. Okay, lines and segments that intersect circles. You have your circle. Not a very good circle. You have your circle. A chord, you can think about, you have endpoints, 2 endpoints on the circle with a segment that's stretched in between, kind of like the chords on a guitar, they're stretched. Secant goes all the way through. A secant crosses through both endpoints. Your tangent is a line in the same plane of the circle, so we're in 2D geometry, that intersects exactly 1 point. So remember when I always make jokes about going off on a tangent? You can act like you're walking on the outside of the circle and you go off on a tangent. That's what they're talking about. So it's kind of next to or adjacent to or touching 1 point of the circle. It's a tangent line. Point of tangency is that 1 point that intersects the circle, if you hear us talk about that. Congruent circles, by definition, are circles that have the same measure of radius. They're radii. So if I have this circle here, it has a radius of 4. Any other circle that has a radius of 4 will be congruent to it. And congruent means equal in measure. Let's see. Tangent circles are going to be 2 circles that touch at 1 point of tangency. So if I had another circle down here, that circle would be tangent. A common tangent is a tangent line that intersects 2 circles at the same point. So this would be a tangent line to both of those circles, a common tangent. We have some theorems. The main theorem in section 1, I don't want to get too far into the whole chapter yet, but the main theorem talks about the fact that if a line is tangent to a circle, it's perpendicular to the radius drawn to that point of tangency. So if I have this radius here, at this point of tangency, if I have a tangent line, theorem 12-1-1 and theorem 12-1-2, its converse, talk about the fact that this will be a 90-degree angle, they'll be perpendicular to each other. that theorem leads us to solving the word problem towards the end of the PowerPoint. So let's see. The third and final theorem of section 1 talks about if two segments are tangent to a circle from the same external point, the segments are congruent. So if I have, let's go in this circle down here, a random point out here, the two tangents that intersect that point are going to be congruent. So these segments here are congruent. So any point exterior to the circle creates congruent segments. Okay, so I have two problems I want to use. I want to do one problem together, an example talking about how the segments that are made by these two tangent lines coming from this one external point are congruent. And then I have another problem I want to work talking about these two theorems here with your tangent being perpendicular to your radius. So I spoke for 30 minutes, which is like way longer than I meant to. So let's pick up, how about Tuesday? Or should I do it Thursday? Tuesday or Thursday of next week. I'm gonna do one video a week. So we'll pick up working a couple word problems with this that are in your PowerPoint. And then I will intro into a little bit of more material. I don't know if I'm gonna do a lot though, because these word problems are kind of tough and I don't want to make it too difficult on you guys. Give me feedback. Sorry if that was awkward for you. It was awkward for me, but I had a joke I wanted to tell you. Okay. Apologize if anybody else is listening because they're not used to my horrible humor yet, but unfortunately they might get used to it during this stay-at-home order. Okay, the joke is, how do you tell the difference between a girl ant and a boy ant? You throw it in the water, and if it floats, it's boy ant. Okay, I did want to be, just for like 5 seconds, I don't want to get too far off math, and I know I'm not, you know, like your friend or counselor or anything, but as just your teacher who got to spend a lot of time with you this year and someone who cares about all of you probably too much, I just want to tell you guys that I'm proud of you for handling all the changes that are going on so well. Like, your generation as a whole is proving that you're really mature and resilient. You're going through a lot more changes than someone your age should have to. So as long as you are, you know, keeping yourself entertained, even if it's your phone for 12 hours a day, if you're keeping a sound mind, keeping yourself entertained, staying healthy, that's really all you can do, and I'm proud of you guys. Nobody likes change. I know some of you are probably liking staying home, but I did not plan on being absent from the classroom this long. Obviously I miss it. That's why I'm doing these videos for you guys. But reply with questions, or I'm going to try to make the last video shorter. I'm sorry guys, I'm used to 50 minutes of your time. Okay, thanks. Bye.